I'm Fred Tutman. I'm the Patuxent Riverkeeper. Patuxent's the longest and deepest river that stays entirely in Maryland. We're in Prince George's County, Maryland, right at the border of Anne Arundel and Prince George's. This is a family farm that's been in my family since the 1920s. My great-grandfather acquired this place. He was Carter Jones, whom is still inhabited by Carter Jones descendants. It has a hanging tree on it. Actually, this farm belonged to the county sheriff of Prince George's at the turn of the century. And the rumor, or the legend, is that he did surplus hangings for extra money. The last guy that was hung was guilty of nothing in particular and put a hex on him. And so shortly thereafter, Eli had crop failure, cattle failure, his wife died of consumption. So my great-grandfather was able to acquire the farm at a bargain, but the family's deeply invested in keeping it in the family and keeping it out of development and keeping it into useful and productive farming. And now we grow farm market vegetables, garlic. We're experimenting with a variety of different things. Well, I think my job as a river keeper is to obviously protect the river, which is just down through the trees there. We use some of the river water sometimes to irrigate our farm. But also the fusion between land and water is so connected. Whatever happens on land happens in water. And so I feel like there's a natural counterpoint between the work I'm doing with discharge polluters on the river, but I'm also doing work on the landward side to protect both, stewardship for the land as well as the waterways by the growing practices and by the things that we're doing here to conserve the soil and replenish the soil, enhance the ecosystem.
What's the tastiest thing that's come out of your dirt?
Well, I love the eggplant, and I've just started growing leeks in the past year and a half, and I love leeks. Just crazy about them. I make all kinds of soups and stews, grow a variety of different types of lettuce. Right now we're also growing a green we call sempasai. Sempasai is kind of a hybrid that grows year-round, and it's kind of like kale, and it's a nice, I would say it's a slightly bitter but tasty green that you can saute. I love the fresh spices, herbs that we grow here, our own cilantro and basil and lots of other fragrant and savory herbs. It's incomparable. The stuff you can grow yourself is so unlike the stuff you get in the grocery store. There's no comparison. And I love being connected to the earth that has a heritage attached to it. My great-grandfather walked this soil and showed me every tree on the place, and my grandmother and all of my other ancestors. I do feel a sense of continuity, ancestral home, a kinship with the woods and the fields and the nearby waterway. This is hugely, I'm finding in my work as a riverkeeper, connective to my sense of community, where I'm tied to, where I'm from. That's hugely important. I feel really empowered by having a special connection to at least this section of Maryland. And when I was a boy growing up, the river was central and everyone's reference point. It was the place we got yellow and white perch. It was the place we got crabs. It was where we got water to water our crops. And all of the streams and creeks that ran into the river were playgrounds for me as a boy. People are completely connected in this part of the world. I think they're very connected to the moods of this river. And that's how I start my day, frankly. When I go down to my office down by the water, I look and see what the water's doing. It's like a mood ring.
Our thanks to Riverkeeper and Farmer Fred Tutman.